At the beginning of the film we were shown a girl named River. She goes to her brother who is locked in a basement and gives him some food. Then she takes her little brother and runs downstairs. She then unscrews the locked window and they both started escaping out of there while they are running away. Soon their parents starts to follow them, but the kids didn't stop and kept running from them. The next scene opens up 20 years earlier where we see a woman named Laura. Laura has just got to the town after leaving her family. After getting there she sees a man named Tyler who is spreading God's word by gathering up some people. While hearing his words, Laura has slowly started to feel for him. After some time a man approaches Laura and he takes her to a roadside tent, where he lives in. When he is about to force Laura, Tyler comes there and beats up the man. After some time we see that Laura and Tyler are sitting together and chatting. He asks Laura to marry him, saying that he wants to have a family that is separated from this evil world. Laura seems to be reluctant at first, but after remembering how her family treated her she eventually agrees to be with Tyler. In the next scene we see that few years have already passed. Tyler and Laura are married now and had 4 children, and Laura is also pregnant with 1/5 child. The oldest of the children is Rain, and next Meadow, River, Prairie. All the kids are well disciplined and they does whatever their parents say. Tyler has bought them by teaching about God and words he said in the Bible. Tyler taught them some weird principles in the name of God, like they shouldn't bath frequently if they have a clean soul, and they should eat less to keep room for cleansing the soul, and so many other stupid things. Eventually the kids grew up and River is prepared to get ready to school. On her first day of school we see that her brother and sister are trying to keep her from the others, saying they are the demon's servants. Later when River is singing while playing guitar, one of her classmates, Andrea, approaches them. She talks with them and tries to befriend the siblings. Later that evening the kids asks their mother's permission to let Andrea come to house to play. At first Laura is reluctant cause their father might not like it, but she eventually agrees. After getting home while they are playing hide and seek, Andrea and River goes into her parents' room. After getting in, Andrea tries to turn the TV on, but River forbids her, saying they can't watch TV since it is a gateway for the serpent. But Andrea thinks it is funny and turns on the TV. While they are watching the TV, Rain comes into the room looking for them. Soon Tyler comes in and sends Andrea with her mother. Then Tyler gets to Laura and punishes her for letting the outers into the house. The next day when the kids got ready to go for school, Laura tells them that they won't be going to school from today since the outside people are changing their minds and they are getting away from God. Then Prairie starts to go against his parents' words and he kept saying that he will go to school. Then Tyler tells to Laura that he is infected by the enemy and they have to cleanse him. Laura tries to control Prairie, and when he doesn't listen Tyler forces her to punish their son when she is about to hit him. River comes in the middle and gets hit, and soon Laura's water broke and she is about to give birth. Tyler didn't even took her to hospital since he believes that doctors are also demons, and he believes that police and even the church are also demons. After the baby is born, Tyler calls his children and tells them that their new brother will be shepherd to the family after him and he will lead everyone towards the light of God. The couple then tells that everyone else in the world has become serpents and the only lambs left are in this house. And since that day the kids are kept inside the house and they are not allowed to step out of the door. Few years pass by and the kids have grown a bit, and the couple also had 1/6 child. One day they call everyone to the hall and he is punishing Prairie for opening the window to let some air in. When Forrest tries to defend his brother they slaps him. He tells that the enemy's breath has gotten into the house, infected them. When they are about to punish him, Meadow closes her eyes. Seeing this, Tyler makes Laura beat up both of them and then he ties Prairie to the bed and starves him. The next day in the middle of that night, River and Forrest goes to the kitchen looking for some food and manages to steal some apples and takes it to their room and feeds them to Prairie. The next day while Tyler is unpacking the things he notices the food is missing from the drawer. He goes to the kids and calls out Meadow and Rain. They asks the both for who took apples from the drawer. At first Rain and Meadow are reluctant to give away their siblings and tries to protect them, but their parents tells them that they are just making the things worsen by letting their siblings fall into the serpent's hands, and they also offer to give them smartphones if they tell the truth. Eventually they both tells about River and Forrest. Then they ties up River and Forrest, and Tyler tells they have to starve them for 7 days, telling that they are infected by the demon. Later Tyler gives Rain and Meadow mobiles and tells them not to give them to their siblings since they are too young and can't stand against the devil. In those later that night Prairie gets free and comes to set free his siblings, but soon Tyler notices this and Prairie tries to run out of the house, but he gets caught while trying to get out of the window. Tyler then chains him up this time, and then he screws up all the windows in the house, and soon 7 days pass by and Laura releases them both. A few days later, Meadow uses the mobile to record River while singing and she posts it online. Soon people started to watch the song. Later that night, Meadow approaches her saying somebody wants to talk with her after watching the song. Even though she is reluctant, at first she agrees to talk with him. She goes into the closet and talks with a boy named Tristan. While talking, Tristan tries to flirt with her, but she doesn't get it since she can't understand. She starts to feel happy since he praised her singing so much. The next day she again talks with Tristan and they talk about themselves. Tristan tells that he is also like her cause he is suffering from a rare self-immune disorder and he can't leave the house just like them. Eventually, Laura notices this, but she doesn't tell any of this to her husband. A few days later, Laura wakes up in the middle of the night and goes to see Forrest is washing himself. She then punishes him since he did it without being told. Hearing her beating up his brother, Prairie starts to scream. Soon, Tyler gets there and unchains him and drags him to the basement. After some time, River calls to Tristan and she talks with him and share her pain of her brothers being infected by the serpents. Hearing this, Tristan doesn't understand. She also tells him how their parents punishes them to let the serpents out of them. He then asks River how long they have been locked in the house, and River tells 9 Christmases. They don't even know about calendars since they only count days until the Christmas. He then tells her to go for the police, but River says they are serpents. When Tristan asks her address so that he can help her, River thinks he is also a demon trying to get their location and gets angry on him, saying not to call her again. While she is talking, she gets caught by her father and he breaks the phone. After that, they drags both Meadow and River to the basement and chains them up in there, and he also chains up for us to the bed. Later that day, Laura turns up the calendar a few days prior and then they release his Meadow and River to celebrate Christmas the next day, even though it is still November. Later, while the family is setting up a Christmas tree, Forrest tells them that his stomach is hurting again in the side and it is hurtful, but Tyler tells that is just the fang of the serpent and tells him to resist it. Later that night, Forrest's situation has gotten worse. Then the sisters goes to take a look in the book and finds out that their brother has appendicitis. The next day, while they are at the table, the sisters tells Tyler about their brother having appendicitis and they also say that they should go to doctor for treatment. Hearing this, Tyler gets angry and tells all the family will be starved until the serpent's infection will be gone. Later, that Forrest comes to his sisters again and his pain hasn't reduced yet. Then River hears church bell ringing from the outside and encourages him to get out of the house. Then she gets to Rain and asks him not to tell about this to their parents. She then asks him to get a screwdriver from the basement so they can escape. When Rain is reluctant, his sister manages to convince him, saying they have saved their brother. Later that night, she goes out of the house taking her brother. Meanwhile, at the house, Rain tries to resist, but he soon remembers the words from Bible telling not to defy the parents and he goes to tell them truth. And then Tyler and Laura runs out of the house after the kids. Soon River and Forrest escapes from their parents and eventually finds the church near them. After getting to the church, while they are knocking at the door, they get spotted by the cops on patrol. The cops gets down to asks if they are okay and what they are running from, but the kids are so scared since they think the cops as demons. She then tells about her brother's condition and how their parents treat them. Hearing this, the cops didn't believe them and thinks the girl is neurotic. They gets to the kids and tries to separate Forrest from his sister. While this happening, their parents arrives to the church. Then the cops ask Tyler about the accusations his daughter made, but Tyler tells the cops that their daughter is just making these since she is suffering from some mental illness and also sure that not to worry about cause they are already seeking medical attention. The kids also gets afraid of the outsiders after what the cops did and agrees to go with their parents. Then the cops takes his address ID and leaves him. After getting to home, Tyler tells the kids to pack up the things and they have to leave the house, and Tyler gets prepared to punish Forrest and River to drive the infection out of him. But as soon as he enters the bathroom, Forrest tells him that his pain has stopped. Hearing this, they gets and he rushes the kids to get into the van, but soon their house was visited by a woman named Gloria who is a child welfare officer. Tyler tells them everyone is sleeping and asks them for a minute. Then he calls the kids to the living room and instructs them what to say and how to act before calling the officers in. Then Gloria gets in and asks the kids about few questions and they say the answers that Tyler instructed them. While the officers are checking the house, Forrest gets into the bathroom again and the pain came back. He tells his sisters that the pain is even worse than the last time. After the checking is done, the officers leaves the house. Then they go to Forrest, and after seeing his situation they gets panicked, and they also notices that his body temperature is rising. After looking at the phone and finding out that his appendix has burst, they decides to take him to the hospital, but Tyler hears this and forbids them from doing it. Seeing their brother's situation, even Rain starts to fight back to take his brother to hospital. They didn't listen. Tyler gets angry and picks up a knife and takes Rain a hostage to force them all to get into the van. Seeing this, Prairie gets angry and he runs onto his father and fights him. After the others binds up Tyler, River goes out of the house and screams for help. In the next scene we see that the kids are at a hospital and their parents got arrested for what they did. Soon, Gloria comes to the kids and reports about their brother's situation and tells he is in coma. Hearing this, the kids gets frustrated and feel sad. Soon the kids are called by the detective to investigate them, and after seeing his brother's situation they think Tyler is right. Rain supports his father when he was asked about his father pulling a knife on him, and then Summer didn't talk anything and covers her nose, being afraid that she will be infected from enemy's breath. And Prairie tells them how their mother used to beat them due to their father, and also says that the devil made him go against his father later. Meadow doesn't talk anything, and she will say is what River says. Then River tells them that she is not sure and tells since they have been in the outside world for days, what if they are poisoned and are following the devil's words? She tells that it is no use asking them any questions. The next day Gloria gets to River and tells her about Tristan, saying he is trying to contact her so badly. While she is talking with Tristan, she accused him, saying that if Forrest dies, it is because what he said. Tristan suggests her to get their mother's help, even though she is reluctant at first. River eventually agrees with Tristan's words and agrees to get their mother's help. Later they goes to the jail to meet with their mother. River asks her suggestion for what they have to say in the court and to the cops, while Laura is telling them to go against them by saying the things they had done, but the kids kept defending by reminding about the proverbs. Then Laura tells them about another proverb which they didn't taught the kids, and tells that one is the true God's word and rest is the devil, and also tells them that she and Tyler are the real serpents and not the rest of the world. In the next scene River talks at the court against their parents, and eventually the kids had started to live in the real world and learn about it, and they also join the